Hiya, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
You want to go do a podcast?
Sure.
Jump in.
Ladies and gentlemen, ghouls and mansters, frightmares of all ages, and everyone else, welcome to Binging Barbie. I'm your host, Jay, and with me I have my co-host. Keep watch, John.
Right, and if somebody comes, I'll eat them.
Yes. What? No, just whistle or knock at the door.
And then take a little nibble?
No nibbling.
You're no fun.
This is a podcast about movie tie-ins for toy franchises, and this week we are finishing up our deep dive into the Monster High series. We'll be talking about the 17th movie, Monster High 2.
Oh, yeah.
17, we're at the end, John.
Hooray. Yeah, a much needed ending. It's not as strong as the Barbie series was, that's for sure.
Is that true, or is that just your rose-colored glasses as you look back on the past?
See, Barbie, each film was unique and different. Like, it wasn't a continuous series. This was a lot to keep track of, and it wasn't very consistent.
Yeah.
Plus, like, it was very jarring for each film. Whereas Barbie, for each film, remained pretty consistent character-wise.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah,
anyway, who do we have here?
Joining us is a Monster High enthusiast, Cass.
Hello.
Yeah, this is your first time on the podcast.
It is.
Yeah, so just to break the ice, you're a Monster High fan. You've seen all of the movies.
Almost all.
Almost? Okay. Yeah. Do you have a favorite Monster High character?
I do. This character, I didn't grow up watching the movies. My sisters did. My younger sisters, so I watched it with them a little bit older. But as they came out, and throughout that, it was always Frankie. And then these two live action movies actually further enforced that with their change of making Frankie non-binary. Kind of made it pretty awesome.
Yeah. Frankie is definitely a favorite. Not John and I are Abby and Ghoulia stan, so the live action ones are a little tougher for us. But yeah, Frankie, especially in the live action, I think has really come into their own.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we can just dive right in. Some context here: this was released October 5, 2023, so not that long ago. Directed by Todd Holland. Once again, this is a lot of the same people as the last movie, so I'm not going to read out all their names. But this one was written by Todd Holland, not Tom Holland, Matt Eady, and Billy Eady. We have a new art director here, David Clark, who was an art director on the Magicians TV show, as well as War for the Planet of the Apes and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And then they didn't have any of the songwriting credits, but we do have a credit for custom song, the Together Forever song, written by Alexandra Pejkovsky. And they made the theme song for the game Deathloop. That was kind of the biggest thing that I found in their IMDb.
Interesting. Well, let's get into the story. And as the plot goes, the ghouls are in their second year of Monster High, and after the events of the last film, they've opened their doors to half humans. Claudine has become a bit of an internet sensation for the monsters, and meanwhile, Draculaura befriends a new student, Alice, who is also a vampire, quote-unquote, who practices witchcraft.
Convenient.
One night, yes, convenient. And one night after hanging out with him, two witches show up and try to kidnap Draculaura. Frankie and Claudine scare them off, but for the safety of the students, Headmistress Bloodgood decides to temporarily ban all witchcraft. Draculaura goes to Ellis for comfort, and he reveals that he isn't actually a vampire, but a witch who has been sent by the Salem Coven to try and make peace with the vampires. Draculaura agrees to go with him and meets Zamara, leader of the Coven, and Draculaura agrees to help and is invited to stay in a room at their facility. Worried that something is wrong, Claudine teams up with her dad to break into the facility and rescue Draculaura. She is successful, but Draculaura wants to stay and make peace. Claudine leaves behind one of Cleo's scarabs to keep an eye on things. The next day, the scarab warns Cleo that something is amiss, and Frankie is able to put together that the Coven are actually evil, surprise, surprise,
Wow, who would
and
have
just
guessed?
using Draculaura to cast a spell that will kill all the vampires. Wonderful. Everyone gets together and rescues Draculaura with the help of Ellis, who has a change of heart, and they go back to Monster High, and everybody has a big dance party. Oh, joy.
These movies seem more prone to ending in a big dance party than the Barbie movies did,
Mhm.
Yeah,
especially the live action ones. I guess since they're
yeah.
musicals, that makes more sense. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, this is a lot of story, but a lot of very predictable story. I found.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, they.
That's why I zoned out after half an hour, just read a book while the film played in the background. It's like I figured out the entire plot by then. It's like, you know what? I don't really care enough for this. I'm just gonna read. And yeah, whatever. Whatever.
Well, yeah, Cass,
You
had
go,
you
Jay.
seen this before?
Yeah, so it was at that party where I mentioned that I would want to be on this episode of the podcast because I hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
The day after I actually watched it, where I was saying, "Oh, I could watch it for the podcast." So yes, I did see it the day after it came out, and then, or the day after we talked about it, and then a couple of months ago, I rewatched both of them with my sister.
Okay. So yeah, you've seen this quite a few times then.
Sadly,
Not the biggest fan.
not of this one.
Okay.
Yeah, not of this one.
Well, yeah, we can get into kind of the story here. Yeah, I don't know. I think they really need to spend a little bit more time on these scripts. I don't know if it's just that these aren't animated, but I don't know. They seem to have more issues than the animated movies did. Maybe I'm just not giving them as much leeway since they're live action.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's just a lot of like world building issues. Like, how is the prefect chosen? Because
Yeah,
they're like the school decides, but then Claudine and Toralei are like campaigning as if they're getting votes.
yeah. I feel like there's that line by Cleo that feels like it was thrown in just to explain the campaigning, where she
Yeah.
says, "The school chooses, but everyone knows the school always just picks whoever's most popular."
Yeah.
So it's like the school picks, but they didn't want the school to pick, so they.
Yeah. I guess it might be
Meanwhile, in the last film, Deuce was talking about becoming prefect
yeah,
and being on the
whatever happened
campaign.
to that?
Yeah,
I don't know if that was prefect or if that was student council.
they're they're practically the same thing.
Yeah. Prefect sounds more British, so that's that sort of everything tying back to Harry Potter in some way or another.
Yeah, and with the jars, the skull jars
Yes.
being the
Ah,
comparison
Yeah.
to the house points.
Yeah, this one especially felt like it started out very Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna pick the students' names. Yeah, we talked about. I think especially the first one is trying to be Harry Potter, and we don't support J.K. Rowling on this podcast. You know, she has said a lot of very terrible things, but you do kind of have to admit the first few Harry Potter books are very good at establishing a world and telling these school stories that are like magical, but also adventures, but also mysteries. Whereas Monster High, they're a little bit of a lower quality version of that.
Yeah,
same
I feel like
thing.
the good thing about the Harry Potter series is that it's so easy to parody, but
Yeah.
Monster High chose to just uh uh fail at imitating it instead.
Yeah, which is weird because the animated movies, like obviously Magic School, you're going to have certain elements that cross over, but I felt like they did a much better job of being their own thing.
Hmm.
Whereas this is very much tried to go for the Harry Potter thing, down to even like the the villain is a twist thing, which they keep pulling.
Mm.
And yeah, that I mean, to skip ahead a little bit, that was one of the things I was noticing here. There are so many repeated plot points from the
Mhm.
first movie. they're once again having to confront the institutional bigotry of Monster High. And once again, they also have to fight a villain who, in their being, confirms the institutional bigotry is well founded. Which we'll get into that issue in a second. I did also just want to mention one logic hole that stood out to me. No one remembers why this war was started between the vampires and the witches. This is something that Draculaura says. And then 30 minutes later, Deuce, who has nothing to do with any of this conversation, is like, we all know the war was started because of this mortality curse.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, someone maybe needed to take another pass at the script to clean up some of the continuity.
Yeah, I mean that happens when you have to do a sequel the very next year. You got to
Yeah.
rush production, and we're maybe getting a third one with the Grim Reaper. We'll
Mhm.
see.
Yeah, I'm curious.
That was one point that I put in my notes, is that it just, at the end where, you know, Claudian grabs the Wraith Silver and pulls open the bars, it is like lethal to monsters. It would have been, I feel like it would have been a lot cooler rather than what they chose to do with the Grim Reaper. I don't really know what's going on with that.
Yeah,
But instead, if she lost her monster powers, like that part of her died,
yeah,
like that, I just feel like would have been a way cooler way to end that movie. But
yeah. And then have her in the next movie. You know, she has to navigate now. She isn't a monster.
yeah, she's like, not, is she allowed at Monster High? Like,
Yeah.
what's, yeah.
Which I think they kind of sidestepped that because Samariel, who was on the podcast last episode, was suggesting that each one is going to be focusing on a different member of this core trio.
Mm.
So we've had the Claudine one, the first one, and then this is the Draculaura one. So the next one will be more Frankie focused. But yeah,
Well, technically, still being the Claudine film.
Yeah. but yeah, I do agree. This does, you know, everything goes back to status quo after this.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Deuce.
Except for Deuce.
He's maybe in hell.
That's
I don't
yeah.
know.
Did he get sent to hell?
I think he was just like pushed to the side by the Grim Reaper. I don't think the Grim Reaper did anything to him. I think it was just like a get out of my way.
I feel like that was partially also their way of, they want Deuce to be in a mental state where he's like, I'm gonna make this journey, but they don't actually want him to not be in the third movie.
Yeah.
So maybe he's gonna run back to the school and be like, guys, something happened and I can't leave.
I wouldn't be surprised if the actor wants a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that entire thing felt like. Of like, oh, well, we know that the actor probably won't come in, so we have to put in this. I have to go on this journey alone for a whole next year, or maybe he'll come back in the next film and he's gonna be like a whole new man. I don't know.
They could even do like, oh, he's on his own journey, and they check up with him every like 20 minutes, and it just so happened that, you know, now the actor only needs to film for a week instead of a month.
Yeah, 1 minute cameo.
Yeah.
And
Like
it's all on the coffin phone.
Yeah.
He'll be like at a fraternity party, and it's like, oh, guys, like, I'm finding myself so well here. It's so great.
Yeah. Setting up perfectly for the next movie when he comes back. And my journey was so fruitful, as you saw.
He won't even need to wear glasses anymore.
that was what we talked about in last episode, that in his like confession to Claudine of like, I feel like such a monster. I have to wear glasses all the time.
Yeah,
okay.
Claudine even wears those glasses in this film, and they just look like normal glasses.
Also, there's the thing where, like, he can't let his snakes out because people will turn into stone, except they won't. If he wears the glasses, people don't. He can have, like, it showed him in a different part of the movie where the snakes were out and the people were running away from him to, like, steal their truck or something.
Yeah.
He didn't turn them to stone.
Spite people.
Yeah, I don't know that they have Deuce's powers entirely figured out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they have to put a logical reason why they can't have that VFX shot going the entire time. So,
yeah,
try.
That's true. That's true.
Well, we should talk about, speaking of VFX here, the Claudine conveniently blacking out for the final confrontation between Draculaura and Zamara, and then waking up and everyone would be like, it was so cool. You have to believe us because we don't have the VFX budget to show it, but it
We
was
just
so
got that
cool.
one short shot of her floating in the
Yeah.
air, surrounded by her own little tornado
And the bats.
and the bats.
Show up.
That was the funniest part of the movie when Z, I don't remember what her full
Yeah.
name is, but her just like with the bats just flying around her, not even attacking her.
It's a very, very Batman moment.
Yeah.
What?
Dracula secretly.
What, the
Batman.
bats flying around or the blacking out?
The bats flying around.
Yeah, okay.
I did put, while we're at that part of the movie, one thing, did it get established in the first movie? Because I don't think it was established at all in the second movie that Claudine's dad works for a security company.
No.
Or is it just thrown in there randomly?
It's very conveniently added in here.
Yeah. That was just kind of weird. And then why is a coven from Salem, Massachusetts now in Seattle? I feel like they could have just gone to another part of the east. Like, they didn't need to go all the way over to Seattle.
Like, does the portal to Monster High take them anywhere, or is Monster High within walking distance of Seattle?
Yeah. I don't know.
Because I can understand.
It's just that Seattle was closer to their filming location, so we have to go to Seattle.
I don't think they filmed at all in Seattle. I think because the credits say they filmed in British Columbia, so I think it's
closer
just,
to Salem.
Yeah, I think it's just stock footage of Seattle, or second unit. But I can't imagine why it would just not be stock.
Maybe
footage.
Monster High is just Canada.
Maybe. That would explain some things. Monster High is Canada. Yeah. I think the big thing for me here was that we have this theme of tolerance sort of centered on witches and witchcraft. And this idea that maybe the witches aren't so bad after all, and we should try and get along with them. And this is undercut by every witch in the movie that we meet is evil, except for Ellis. It's like, I don't know. It's you have all of this anti-witch rhetoric coming, especially from Toralei, who is proved mostly right in almost everything she says. Like, the witches are actually dangerous, and they actually were using Monster High's new policies to, like, infiltrate and try and kill monsters. And it's like, okay, you can make two versions of this. One, the witches are actually nice, and they're actually nice. Or you could do, like, the witches aren't actually nice, but that doesn't mean we should treat them bad, because they're still people. But here they just kind of try to do... They try to have their cake and eat it too. It's like, the witches, they're oppressed, and witchcraft is actually good, but also all of the witches we meet are like evil and nefarious, and I don't know, it just, especially with the metaphor they're trying to build for what witchcraft is supposed to represent, which we'll get into when we talk about Draculaura. It made me a little bit, I don't know, it rubbed me the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
John, did you pick up on any of that?
Listen, as I stated before, I watched 30 minutes and then continued watching while reading a book. So I don't really care.
About...
I'm not thinking about this film very deeply. Just go. Move on. Keep going. Don't let me sink you down. You got two other people.
Well, yeah, Cass, do you have anything else to add about the plot?
I mean, not the plot. I'm excited to get into the characters, though.
Let's do that then. But first, let's give our scores for the plot.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave the story here a 2 out of 5. I think it is a mild improvement over the first one in that we've established Monster High, so now we can kind of do more interesting things with it. I just wish the things that they did with it were even more interesting than they ended up being. And yeah, just concerns with how the theme's not fully working out the way that the movie wants them to.
Yeah. I gave it a 2 as well. I agree that it's better in story than the first movie. A bit. There's other parts. the The idea of the story is better. The way it's written, it's not that good. But yeah, kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I gave it a pretty harsh 1.5. And it's probably more of like a 1.8, but I don't really care to adjust that at all. I'll leave it there.
Mhm.
The fact is, like, after 30 minutes, it just didn't get me invested enough to actually care to pay attention to the rest of the film, which is not great. So it stays at a 1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know this is about songs and not the story, but it does suck that they start the movie with the worst song in the movie.
Yeah. It's a bit of a doozy to
Yeah.
start out with. Yeah. And that is very much related to story though too, because that's, it affects the pacing and the sense of
Yeah.
investment. But yeah, on to characters. Claudine is still kind of the protagonist, even though this is Draculaura's movie. She has an arc. She needs to both embrace her role as leader, but also not throw her friends under the bus. But it felt, I don't know, it just didn't tie nicely into the main plot. Like, I don't really buy that she would care so much about being prefect that she would betray her friends.
Mm-hmm.
As it's established in this, I think they could have made it work more because she has this, she wants to be like her mom. So if they had leaned into that more, but they just don't have time. So I kind of wish, honestly, you can just drop that plot line
Mm-hmm.
because it's not adding a whole lot. And then yeah, the whole thing of her now being famous, that's only in like the first 10 minutes that matters. The rest of it is just like, oh, now she's back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing that these kids movies try to do where they're like, hey, let's have a character who goes viral
On
and
Eek
then,
Talk.
yes. Oh boy. I don't know anything about TikTok. I do not believe for one second that video would have gone viral on TikTok the way it is presented.
No, I mean, it feels more like I don't know. I stopped using I'm off social media now, and I stopped using Snapchat back in high school, but it feels like a Snapchat video.
Yeah. It's not very convincing as a viral
Yeah.
video. Yeah. Any thoughts on Claudine?
She's just I have no thoughts on Claudine. This movie, it just feels like she's so bland. It feels
Yeah.
she's just one thing. She's a friend until she's not, and she's now campaigning for prefect. It's just, I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about her.
Yeah, I think that's fair. She's very generic protagonist.
Yeah.
John, thoughts about Claudine?
The only character I have thoughts on is Torelai, so
Okay.
I'll
Well,
say
we'll
that
get there.
then. It's not much, but
Oh, yeah.
it's
Next up,
something.
we have Draculaura, which, Cass, I know you have some thoughts on Draculaura.
Yeah, I have a couple. I have, similar to what you were mentioning, I wrote down that I don't like in the argument that Claudine and Draculaura have back at Monster High, where she says, like, you're telling me to go back in the broom closet, comparing using witchcraft to being queer. It
Yeah.
doesn't work at
No.
all.
No. And not even as, I don't know. I was thinking of Weird, the Al Yankovic story, the
Yeah.
biopic that came, well, quote unquote, it's a
Quote, quote.
parody biopic
Yeah.
that came out a while ago. And in that one, it's like he plays the accordion, and that's the thing that they're kind of, and the entire joke is like, this has nothing to do with queer identity.
Mm-hmm.
It's playing the accordion. and it's played for comedy. Here they're trying to do it like without any parody or self-awareness, so it just kind of falls flat because practicing witchcraft as is shown here is a choice.
Yeah.
Not only that, because Draculaura says, "Oh, I've always had an affinity for witchcraft," but then Zamara says, "Oh, we were the ones who put the spell books in front of you." So that
So
has
she's the evil homosexual converting our children.
yes, but I mean, and I know that's not what they're going for. I mean, the director of this movie is married to a man married to a man, so gay or bi or somewhere under the queer umbrella.
And clearly there's someone non-binary somewhere in the writing staff with they do non-binary representation well, I feel like. So like it's a queer friendly movie, but it's just that one bit.
Yeah, it's the metaphor. And then having sort of witchcraft be a metaphor for queer identity, but then having the witch characters all be evil. Again, it's like it doesn't work on a thematic level. They're trying to have their cake and eat it too. They want it to both be, oh, it's a movie about tolerance, and also it's an adventure movie with bad guys. And it's like, no, you could make something interesting. There's a film that came out a few years ago, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and in it Chadwick Boseman plays a character who is sort of not the stereotype of a violent black man, but kind of ticks certain boxes there. But the point of his story in that film is, even though he is sort of a bad person who does bad things, he is still a person and is worthy of dignity. This movie does not have that kind of complexity with the witch characters. They're just kind of, they're the bad guys, so we have to kill them, or not kill them, but stop them.
Whatever Dracula does to them at the end.
Yeah. Imprison them in prison.
Yeah.
But
which really, it feels like they should kill them or find a way to wipe their minds. They know the one spell that can kill every vampire in the world. They don't. Yeah, you don't want to risk them escaping.
What's the mechanics of the spell? Is it only a vampire can cast it?
I think so.
Yeah. Also, okay. So they've had this plan of like, ever since you were born, we've been influencing things. Dracula is 1600 years old. They have a spell that can compel anyone to do their bidding. And they've had 1600 years and they've never tried to use it on just a vampire that was already like, is it like you have to learn how to do witchcraft like that? Or is it like, I don't know. It's like you had 1600 years. This is the best you could come up with.
It's literally like their great grandparents did this. Yeah. They there's going to be a vampire born to Dracula. We have to turn her into a witch, and then 1600 years later, she'll be able to kill all the vampires.
Yeah. I mean, you could even say, because the witch lady has like that drink that takes a day off her life. So maybe she has been around and has been planning this. But even then, it's 1600 years.
It was the 5th century.
Yeah.
Like...
yeah. Did you catch any of that, John?
No, I was really riveted by the book I was reading.
Which book were you reading?
So it's Star Wars Dark Disciple.
Okay.
The unaired episodes of the unaired season 7 or 8 of Star Wars.
With Asajj Ventress?
With Asajj Ventress and Quinlan Vos. Okay. Yes.
I have heard
I'm very upset we never got that season, because it's a really good story. I'm bummed out. Anyway, continue with Monster High.
I have one last thing to say about Draculaura. Yeah. Kind of about Dracula, really. He wouldn't live in that house. That house in the beginning of the movie isn't his. Yeah. He got an Airbnb for her party. I refuse to believe that that's his home. It's just a stupid modern McMansion, and it's not his.
No, yeah, you are right. That didn't even occur. I think it was so odd that I just assumed like it didn't even register that that's apparently Dracula's house, except that the walls were the same shade of pink as the vampires, which I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't have walls in my house that are the same shade of skin as my skin. Um,
I mean, you do if you're a toy. Lots of toys have very same colors to the house and the actual figure. It's very problematic. I thought that we're past that since the 80s, but apparently not.
uh, yeah, it reminded me a little bit of the Daniel Tiger cartoon,
Hmm.
where the Daniel Tiger family have tiger print curtains.
Oh,
Like, that is so disturbing.
that's a weird implication.
Like, are they actual tiger print or are they imitation? It does not work. Anyway, um, Frankie is next up on our list here.
Frankie.
I would say they're once again my favorite of the main trio.
Hmm.
Which John, last episode we didn't get a ton of your thoughts about Frankie. I was wondering because I kind of assumed you would find them a little bit annoying, just in their like high energy.
Uh, Maybe a smidge.
Okay,
I mean, it's no Kate Higgins for sure. They're trying
yeah.
their best. The thing is, every scene they're in, they have a different color palette. Maybe that's the
Oh,
lighting, but like they never look consistently like, oh, one scene they're blue, the other scene they're a little bit more greenish or pale. So
yeah. I
I,
wouldn't be
I was
surprised
kind of
if
wish
that's
like the lighting could just be less perfectly lit. Everything's overlit.
yeah.
If we're gonna go with this monster aesthetic, we've been saying this for a long time now. Like, bring the lighting down for the spooky levels.
Yeah.
That might help
Yeah,
with their
this
color
isn't
palettes.
a particularly spooky movie.
Frankie is me. I relate to Frankie so much in just so many ways. I really love them. And uh I had never seen the actor CC Belagot in anything else. Um Probably because he's not been in very much else. But yeah, he plays the character so well.
Yeah. I think there's a fine line where if the actor was doing like there's a world in which this iteration of Frankie is just like too much,
Yeah.
um overpowers the movie, but I think their performance just does a really good job. Like,
Hmm.
yeah.
And I really appreciate that one that they hired a non-binary actor to play this character that they were making non-binary now.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did it because of the actor, or if they hired the actor because of the change, but either way, I like it. And then also that it only happens once in the movie, in each movie, but Frankie is just confidently says, "Hi, I'm Frankie. I use they them pronouns."
Yeah.
And then in this one, Ellis goes, "Oh, great. I'm Ellis. I use he him pronouns." It's just that's it.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing.
I almost wish all of the other characters were doing that, just because it does
Yeah,
kind of make Frankie stand out a little bit
it
more in
does.
that aspect.
But
But yeah.
as somebody who uses exclusively they them pronouns, it is usually me going, "Hi, I'm Cass. I use they them pronouns," and nobody else has said their pronouns.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that I don't know. For me, it's some of like, oh, it would be nice if they kind of normalized it a bit more. But yeah,
Yeah.
I could definitely understand that it is accurate too.
For the next movie, for the Frankie movie, we need to have Frankie doing something about making sure that other people
Yeah,
in the Monster High use their pronouns in their introductions.
yeah, yeah. I do. I am curious to get your thoughts on this as like a Frankie fan here, because I love that they are non-binary in this. I do think there is an aspect to it where they're there isn't a lot of exploration of their identity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is inherently a bad thing, but there is this kind of trope that I'm aware of in media, where especially kids media, where when they introduce a non-binary character, they're usually also a non-human character. Now,
Yes.
Monster High, all of the characters are non-human to some
Mm-hmm.
extent or another, but in Frankie's case, I think this means that their experiences don't quite map well onto the actual experiences of non-binary people in real life, because they're um created kind of outside of gender norms, with body parts from different people. So yeah, I don't know, it's like a it's not inherently bad. It just kind of feels like a convenient way for them to have a non-binary character without actually dealing with non-binary identity as it
Mm-hmm.
exists in the real world.
Yeah. It's a little having the non-binary character be the one who was born yesterday.
Yeah, and I
I
don't
don't know.
think it's a bad thing, because I think it really works with Frankie and with this specific
I wish that there
iteration of
were
Frankie.
other trans or
Yeah,
non-binary characters
that's what
in
I was gonna
addition to
say.
Frankie. Yeah.
Yeah, just to have more, have a character who has a more sort of quote unquote typical experience for non-binary people, because Frankie almost feels like an intersex character who was raised without gender norms.
Yeah.
Um, in that,
That is pretty much what it feels like. Like Frankie's creator, Frankie's like, oh, I have parts from a man and woman. What's that called? Oh, well, people who are neither, I guess, are typically called non-binary. Great, that's me then. It
yeah,
like they were created this way. It does. I don't know. It's an interesting because it's done well, but also it's not done like they don't draw attention to it.
yeah,
And it would be nice if they did, if they had any other queer characters, like it just in the background, even just two female monsters holding hands. It's a high school.
or
People date.
Draculaura. Why does Draculaura have to be
Draculaura should be
metaphorically gay
gay.
and not literally?
It's you're already comparing witchcraft to queerness. Just make Draculaura a lesbian.
Yeah, which is what we said in last episode with Samariel, who also brought up that Frankie is a non-binary character, but they live in the girls' dorm, and
Mm-hmm.
they're very coded, very feminine,
They
and I
are.
think
Which is especially interesting
Yeah.
for the fact that they're played by an actor who uses he/they pronouns, and
Yeah.
it typically expresses on the more masculine side of androgyny.
yeah, which I think it's there isn't anything wrong with that. To be clear,
No.
having this character sort of, but yeah, it would be nice to kind of get a little bit more insight into their identity. Maybe they feel more comfortable in the girls' dorm, or maybe they just don't care and that's where they ended up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's outside of the purview of this movie, but I kind of hope
Also,
next movie.
I feel like with Frankie's kind of obliviousness to things,
yeah,
it might have just been, oh, I made really good friends with these two girls. I want to be in their dorm, and the headmistress is like, oh, I was gonna put you in this dorm, but sure, that's fine if that's what you want, and they just don't care that they're in the women's dorm or the female dorm.
Yeah, it would be nice to have the film actually state these things.
It would.
But yeah, obviously, I think part of it is that Mattel just doesn't want to have to dig into that. They want to have the representation without actually dealing with it. But I do hope that the next movie, you have this non-binary character, which is very uncommon, especially for kids media,
and as a lead.
Yeah. So it's an opportunity to explore what that means, and maybe, as you were saying, introduce other characters in that can kind of offer different perspectives. Because you're never going to have perfect representation, because no group is a monolith. But the more variety you can present, the better the representation gets.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't want this to be a criticism of Frankie, because Frankie's a really cool character, and the decision to make them non-binary is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on to Deuce. He has an arc that happens almost entirely off screen. He's tried to reconcile his who he is with who his mom wants him to be. But we never really meet his mom, and we never really hear his struggles with that beyond just like a few references to them. Like, I was thinking about it. I don't think I'll miss him in the next movie.
No. It gives the movie an opportunity for Claudine and Draculaura to get together.
Yes. John, any thoughts on Deuce?
No.
No. Yeah, he's just more of the same from the last one. Yeah. I don't know if I like him or dislike him or his vibe or whatever. It's just kind of that's what I had forgotten about from, again, not to keep referencing last episode, but Samariel compared him to Jughead from the Riverdale TV show. And yeah, I think that's a very apt description. Just like that vibe. Now, next up is Cleo, who does not get a ton to do here, but she probably my favorite of like the core 5 or whatever, because it's like, yeah, the core 5. I don't know, she's a mean girl with a heart of gold. That's just kind of a character type that I gravitate towards. So it was nice to see her actually get stuff to do in this one. I just like, she gets to be the campaign manager, and that is very like fits her skill set very well and lets her be a little bit. I love that idea, but she just doesn't have enough screen time here to really leave much of an impact.
I like her as well. She's a good character. One thing I just thought was kind of fun, I noticed in the first song, I have a lot of critiques of that song, but it's kind of funny. In the last bit of choreography, we're all dancing together. Cleo is doing a slightly altered version of the dance everyone else is doing to make it more like the Walk Like an Egyptian dance.
Oh,
which I just
cool.
like. Everyone is going like with their arms up, and she's doing it in like an angle instead, to be more like that like that stereotypical Egyptian dance.
That's cool. I completely missed that.
So. I just thought that was a fun one about
thanks
her.
for bringing that up. Yeah. I don't know if I want them to make a 4 and a 5, but if they do, I would love to get a Cleo-centric movie. Taya Laguna, just very odd characterization of her here, but I do like that she wants to eat people. Like,
yeah, she was left out of the first movie, wasn't she?
She was in the background. She had like 2 lines.
That's a shame.
But yeah, here she's like, she's here and she wants to eat people.
Mm-hmm.
That's very different from her characterization in Gen 1 and Gen 2.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it could be interesting because we don't have a lot of that in these movies. We don't have monsters who have monstrous urges. So yeah. Then Heath. Why is there so much Heath in this?
Yeah, there's so much Heath, and he really likes eating dogs.
Oh boy, he's just not interesting as a character.
I don't like him.
Say that?
I'd like him more if this is just me wanting more queer representation.
Yeah.
But if he was gay, put him in the movie more.
Yeah, or that would at least give him some personality beyond like vaguely jock, hothead, literally eats potato chips over a keyboard.
I did think it was cool in the like end fight scene when he grabs a fire from his hair and throws a fireball.
Yeah.
That was cool. But yeah, he's just in this too much.
Yeah, especially for how little we get of like Cleo and Laguna.
Yeah.
No, I was surprised. I didn't love Dracula in the last movie, but I thought he worked really well here. He's trying to be a good dad, and I like that we're seeing him struggle to let go of his sort of what he wants for Draculaura and what she actually is. And that moment where he's like, "Oh, I've decided we're gonna cancel the big party with all the important vampires, and we're going to do Draculaura's thing." That is such a big moment for him as a character that the
Yeah.
movie kind of completely glosses over. It's like it's a point of conflict to get them to go and talk to Draculaura, and then it never gets brought back up again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like if this were actually just all focused on Draculaura, you could explore that relationship a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
and have a moment of catharsis between the two of them at the end.
Yeah, I like the actor for Dracula a lot.
Yeah.
He's been in other stuff, like other kids shows. I think he was in the Wizards of Waverly Place movie. That was the first thing I saw him in, I think. But he's a good actor. I think it would have been also a funnier way to do it if he was like that classic Dracula, very
Yeah.
like dark, evil, and then there's just Draculaura next to him. But I like him as a character, and the actor does him well. And I really like in this movie where he gets a mobile, but it's actually
Yes.
just a tiny portrait of his brother that he can use to talk to his brother.
Yeah, the portrait thing is kind of clever.
Yeah.
John, do you like Dracula? He seems like he might be up your alley.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him in the last film. Yeah,
Okay.
he's one of the few of these characters who's actually like hamming it up and being the
Yes.
quote unquote stereotypical monster that he's supposed to be.
He's one of the, well-known actors that they brought in.
Yep. Somewhat well known. Yeah.
More than
One
anyone
of the
else.
bigger names. Not a huge name, but a bigger name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The B-lister.
So,
BBC.
Headmistress Bloodgood, I wouldn't talk about her normally, except that she was 100% right to temporarily ban witchcraft.
Yeah.
Like, with what she knew. The only reason the story frames her as wrong is because the movie wants witchcraft to be a metaphor for being queer.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, it's like, no, she is 100% correct in her decision.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie, like, proves her right, because it's like the witches are the bad guys. There's no subversion there. It's a frustration I have.
I think banning witchcraft is a good temporary solution
Yeah.
where after things have calmed down a bit, you can say, okay, people are allowed to practice witchcraft, but it has to be approved people. Like Draculaura can do it. If you want to do it, you can apply
it. Or you can
it.
even be like, hey, we'll make a witchcraft class so that you can practice this in a safe space.
Yeah.
Which, okay, here's another thing. So, this is kind of more to do with Claudine, but I always forget about it until I get to Headmistress Bloodgood, which is that, so Claudine is like, hey, Draculaura, stop doing witchcraft until I win my campaign. Because if Toralei wins, then she's going to ban witchcraft. Toralei, how does the prefect have more? Because Headmistress Bloodgood is not going to keep witchcraft banned permanently. Because she's like, oh no, we're genuinely want to be tolerant. We're doing this as a temporary measure. So even if Toralei wins, I don't know that the ban on witchcraft stays. So I don't know. It was a weird moment I was thinking about later of like, it makes even less sense for Claudine to be like, Draculaura, you have to do this. Because it's like, no, even if, yeah, I don't know. But not giving Headmistress Bloodgood enough credit for being, I mean, in the last movie she was racist, and then she had her come to Jesus moment, and now she's not racist anymore. So yeah, I don't think there's much else to say about her. I do like her I Hate Mondays mug. I think I mentioned that in the last one, but yeah. Next up, Toralei. John, I think I'm gonna let you go first.
Toralei?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a lot to say about her character, but she's British, which is not very Toralei, and I'm upset that she's the only one that was like, oh, what other main accent are we going to have from basic white accent? British. for this random character that
Who speaks
whatever.
fluent French? Why not make her French?
Yeah. I was curious, John, if you had fewer problems with this iteration of Toralei than you do with the other iterations.
See, no,
Okay.
no. Like I don't look at her and think Toralei again. British. That immediately throws me off. It's like I can't look at her and think it's a different character. Essentially, she doesn't even. She has the hair. She doesn't even look like a cat. She has ears, but that's about it.
Hmm.
They didn't want to go full Cats 2019.
Which I'm happy with.
That would have been.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, sure. I guess she makes like a stronger antagonist who has actual points to make versus just being that little douche who shows up because she needs to show up. Sure, on that level, she's a much better character, but I don't really recognize her as a full Torla. She's about 50%.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I like that this is a very different interpretation of Toralei. Like,
Ugh.
call me Frankie, because I think Toralei really is fierce in this. Like, we keep bringing this up, but the quote, I support women's rights, but more importantly, I support women's wrongs. That is very much my reaction to the second Toralei walked in.
Hmm.
I was like, yes, I am 100% on board with this character. Whatever she does is the right thing. I don't care. Like, I don't know. This is just for me the best interpretation of this character, hands down. Because John, as you were saying, like she actually has motivation beyond just she's the school bully and has to knock stuff over for the plot to happen. Um, she's a little bit more Cleo adjacent here, but since
Hmm.
she's an antagonist, she's allowed to get a little bit nastier. We don't have to like her as much, so she can be a little bit more bigoted and a little bit meaner. Um, but yeah, at the end of the day, she still teams up with everyone. Though it makes sense that she teams up with everyone because everything that she has been saying has been proven correct. So it's more everyone is now on her side of like, let's go kill the witches.
Yeah. I like Toralei. She's like obviously just classic bad bully girl.
Mean
But
girl,
then
yeah.
the mean girl. But then when she's doing her campaign, she goes like full MAGA. It's
Yeah, no, it's
it's pretty
ridiculous.
intense. It reminds you of some stuff, and yeah, and then her whole campaign is just making puns, which
Yeah,
like she just keeps racking up points by just making puns,
yeah,
and I like that they didn't do the thing where oh, Toralei won prefect, but she's had a change of heart and she's gonna give it to Claudine. Instead, Claudine wins, and you can see Toralei actually like kind of get annoyed at that scene.
yeah,
Like she looks frustrated that she didn't win. If she had won, there's no way she would have given it to Claudine. She would
yeah.
have kept it, and she would have kept witchcraft banned. Like
Which,
she didn't have a
yeah,
change of heart.
I'm still confused as to why the prefect could do that. But yeah, it's, I don't know. I just like with Cleo, I just have an affinity for women who are mean. So
Hmm.
in terms of like as characters, not in real life, but as like character archetypes. I mean, even on like RuPaul's Drag Race, whenever I watch that, I find myself being like, oh yeah, the one who's like a little too mean. Like yeah, I kind of she's kind of my favorite. She's the one who's like saying things, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be like she's saying it like it is because that's a little too MAGA. But yeah, I don't know. I just like Toralei in this more than I've ever cared for a character before. And I think honestly, it might partially just be the British accent.
Hmm.
Like as much as that bothered you, John, I was like, "Oh, that was a good choice." In my opinion,
Well, it's because Toralei's original voice
yeah,
sounded more like a cat,
Yeah.
where here
yeah,
she's British.
I mean, Cats can be British. The Cats the musical is a British
It
musical.
is. It is.
Why are you defending cats?
I
Is it really defending to say something is British? It feels more offensive than defensive.
Cats. We don't have time to get into Cats.
Hmm.
We've already gotten into Cats on this podcast. Anyway, on to Ellis. I don't know if you two had this experience, but it was so obvious from the moment that he appeared that he was going to be the bad guy. First off, they don't even bother to give him a last name.
Yeah.
And then also he's like just too perfect for Dracula. It's like, oh no, he's gonna be the twist.
Yeah, when I watched this with my sister, I said, I guarantee you there's going to be another twist where it's this person is in the school and they're good and everyone loves them. And then, oh no, they're evil. And as soon as he came on screen, I said, he's a witch and a vampire. It's him.
Yeah.
I didn't expect for him to be evil and then good again
Okay.
until later. Then
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
predict it.
Yeah.
But-
Once you're in the witches, because I mean, once you go to the honestly, from the moment that he's like, I'm actually a witch, but I'm a good witch, and I'm like, nope, you aren't.
Mhm.
And then once they get into the compound and he's like talking with his mom, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna like betray her because
Right.
she's obviously evil. So yeah, John, I think you got from the first 30 minutes all of those plot points, right?
Yeah,
Not a lot of surprises there.
sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. I didn't really put much effort into guessing what's what. I just let it happen. And I was like, well, yep, that's convenient for him, all right. Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Sure, yeah. Okay, well, let me just read this book because there's an hour left, and I don't know if I can sit here and watch this for an
Mhm.
hour. I could barely get through the first tome.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The last person to sort of talk about here is the big bad of this, Zamara. I thought she was kind of fun. I wish we had gotten more time with her as a villain.
Mhm.
Like, again, cut out the whole prefect plot line.
Yeah.
Dracula goes to the witch's coven in like the first 30 minutes, and then the rest of it is like, oh, now Zamara's evil. Now everyone has to go and rescue Dracula. Make that the conflict rather than that being like in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah. It's also more of those things they set up in the beginning, like it's wraith silver. It's created by witches. Do you see my scar? It hurts
Yeah.
so much. It's lethal to monsters. Oh, that's gonna come up again. I bet the bad guys are gonna be witches.
Yeah. I don't know, because there's also, you could also take it in the opposite direction of like, she's actually not evil, and
Yeah.
do that, and that would fit better thematically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I liked her as a villain better than the last villain, Mr. Komos.
Definitely. Significantly better.
Yeah, but still a lot of room for improvement needed.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the next one has an interesting take on the villain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Grim Reaper might be the villain, so we'll see.
Yeah, that could be interesting, or that could be.
I don't like it.
Yeah, because the Grim Reaper is like death, so you're making death the villain in a franchise which my dad was watching this with me, and he pointed out like most of the characters are some form of dead.
Like Cleo.
Yeah,
Is
Cleo,
Laguna supposed to be like a
Gulia.
swamp monster?
Yeah, I think
is-
she's living.
She's living. Okay.
But I mean, Frankie,
Frankie, of course, is going to be the
Draculaura.
Draculaura and Dracula.
Yeah, it's like they're all undead. Why are they dealing with the Grim Reaper unless the Grim Reaper is like a monster that attends Monster High?
I think he's just so upset that there's so many dead undead people. It's like, you know what? Enough of this crap. They're all dead now. I'm here for them. They gotta pay the taxes. The taxes is death.
Yeah, there's also like Cleo's just human, but
Yeah,
undead.
undead.
Like,
yeah,
but is she? So just to be a monster, it's either we're monsters, not humans, unless you die and then come back to life. Now you can be a monster, even though your biological makeup is
Yes.
exactly the same. Like, I don't know. Cleo,
It's
she doesn't look mummified.
yeah.
She's just a human.
It's the weird thing, which because the original run of Monster High movies also tried to do the thing of like the humans versus the monsters, but the most interesting ones were the ones where they just like didn't pay attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, Scare a City of Frights. It's like,
Yeah.
there are no humans. We are not going to explain why or how or anything. That is not important. Or you get like Monster High Electrified, which does have the humans, but it's like there's not an antagonistic relationship between the heroes and the humans.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. It's like I am less interested in the humans in the Monster High universe than in the monsters. But yeah. Anything else about the characters?
No.
Okay. So yeah, I
So the
gave the
scores.
characters a 2 out of 5 overall. I like some of the side characters, but I think Claudine and Draculaura as sort of the central characters just kind of were fumbled a little bit here. Claudine not being interesting enough, and then Draculaura having some weirdness with the metaphors around her character.
Mm-hmm.
You can go.
Well, I gave the characters a 4 because I am highly biased. I just like the characters, and it's kind of cool to see them in live action.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
that they're not perfect adaptations of the characters, obviously, but I like the way they do them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it seems like it would have been a really fun set to be on.
Yeah, they have at the over the credits they play
Yeah.
like the behind the scenes footage, and it looks like it was a blast.
It looks like it's just a fun game for all of them, and I would love it. Doesn't matter how good the movie is when you're the actor in it. If you're
Yeah.
having a fun time making it, who cares? And I think they all look cool.
Yeah.
Even like I said, not accurate, a lot of them, but they look cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I gave the characters a 1.5, which was the same as the last film.
So yeah, next up we have the visuals. I don't have a ton to say here because they're
Mhm.
pretty much the same as the first. Cass, do you have anything to say about both of these live action ones? I know you already mentioned kind of the
Mm-hmm.
comparing it to the animation a
Yeah,
bit.
I think that they do some of the CGI really well, and then they do a lot of it really not well. So when you do get those little bits of cool looking CGI, it's nice, but I don't have a lot to say about the visuals.
Yeah. I was looking this up actually because this movie was nominated for 2 makeup awards for the makeup and hairstyling for I think specifically kids TV programming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it is like especially for the main characters, it is impressive the makeup work and the design work and the costume work.
Yeah.
Like I was noticing, especially Frankie just has the best outfits here.
You also cannot tell that it's a wig.
Yeah, no, it is very well sort of implemented. And yeah, the background characters obviously do not look quite that good. I didn't really notice too much on that front. Yeah, CG is iffy, but it's also a TV movie.
Mm-hmm. A Nickelodeon TV
Yes.
movie at that.
Yeah,
Sure.
Those have some rare beauties, but Nickelodeon's not known for their good TV movies.
yeah. John, what did you think of the visuals this time around?
I mean, the visuals are mostly a lot of the same, but there was a point where I just looked at everything and I was just thinking, you know what? The lighting could use a lot more. Because I told you earlier that I noticed that like the colors specifically on Frankie's makeup just didn't always match for each scene, and I'm sure, yeah, it could be hard to get that right mixture. But I think the lighting, because I remember seeing a
Yeah.
promo image and they had the spooky lighting, and I thought that looks pretty good. But then the film is just brightly lit the entire time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wonder if that's like an
So-
effects thing that they're doing as bright and flat as possible to make it easier to do CG work.
Mm.
Because yeah, it would be cool to get some more mood lighting.
Easier to do CG?
Well,
It'd be
in that-
easier to not have much lighting, actually, for CG
Well,
work.
In that you're able to like, you don't have to worry about matching the lighting if it's all flatly lit,
Mhm.
as opposed to like more.
But then
expressive-
somebody forgot in post to
Darken
also
things.
dim
Yeah.
it down
Yeah.
after the yes.
They're like, all right, now we have to darken it. Oh wait, the budget's gone. Okay.
We gotta release it now.
Yep.
Okay.
Gotta hit post. Hit post. Oh wait, I forgot to darken it. Whoops.
We can make it up in the next film with death, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I gave the visuals a 3.5. I like how it looks. It's a TV movie, so I don't have high standards in that regard.
Mm-hmm. I gave it a 3. They're not my. It's not the best, but it's fine.
And I give it a 2.5, which is great for TV movies.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, next up we have the performances. We don't have to go through everyone, but I did want to shout out Jai Prishkulnik, who plays Cleo, is just finally getting something to do, and she is perfect embodiment of Cleo.
Mm-hmm.
Selena Karishi is incredible as Toralei. Doesn't quite have the accent down, but I just found her performance so much fun to watch.
It was very fun to watch.
Steve Valentine, we've already brought up as Dracula, is just a ton of fun. He's hamming it up to the right amount for this character. And then Anna Ortiz as Zamara, she's really going for it in a way that doesn't always work. She's hamming it up in a way that the movie isn't quite at that level, but I don't really blame her because I think she's playing the version of this character in the version of the movie that I want to see, where she can get away with being huge, and like some of her line readings are just insane, and I kind of wish the rest of the movie had that same energy.
Mhm.
Just over the top. Yeah.
I feel like Steve Valentine and Anna Ortiz both are just like, they've got to have a daughter or a niece or some relative who was obsessed with Monster High, and they saw the script on their desk and were like, do it, do it, do it, do it. And they're just doing it for fun.
Yeah.
Because they can't be doing this movie to kind of up their career.
Yeah.
This is just a fun movie to do, and I think it's just something to do and get paid.
Yeah, get a little bit. I mean, it's work, and often because Anna Ortiz, she's like a TV actor, and
Mm-hmm.
the thing I know her from is she's the mom on Love Victor.
Mm.
So yeah, it's kind of like when you're at that point in a career, you kind of just you take what you can get.
Mm-hmm.
But I think both of them, as you were saying, are just like they're adding so much to their roles, and especially with Anna Ortiz, the movie isn't at her same level, and I kind of wish it was, because I prefer the version of the movie that she's in, where it's like everything's over the top and her line readings are insane and hamming it up as the villain,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to this, which is a little bit more High School Musical, Descendants.
More Descendants.
Yeah. High School Musical is just the one I've seen, so that's the one I can compare it to best.
Haven't seen Descendants.
No, that is a potential future series at some point.
Oh.
We will see.
It's something.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you have any performances you wanted to talk about?
No, not performances. I mean, obviously, I like to shout out CC Belagat.
Yeah.
He was great. I already said it. I've already talked about that.
How about you, John?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. I gave the performances a 3 out of 5. Oh, that's a bit too harsh. I'm going to give them a 3.5 out of 5.
Mm-hmm. I also gave them a 3.5 out of 5. Where some people were really good, some people were really not, and it's just yeah.
And I gave it a 3
Okay, so last up we have the sound. Um, yeah, Cass, you seem to have some strong opinions about these songs, so I want to
Hmm.
give the floor to you to.
There are some good songs. I like the little battle song between Claudine and Toralei. Um, there are some that I like. One, let's see, the witches slash automatons, which I don't know why they're calling them automatons. Maybe to
Yeah,
avoid the correlation where they would normally be called golems to the Jewish tradition.
yeah,
And automaton is a bit safer there. Um, but I didn't like the song as much. I kind of did. It was fun choreography, and I
yeah,
liked that they didn't CGI it and they had actual stunt doubles that or dance doubles
yeah,
there that
yeah.
didn't look very good, but
No, they
it
did
was
not.
fun. It was fun.
I was
Um,
trying to figure out if it might have been masked since they were expressionless for the entire
yeah, I think they were
thing.
just good at being expressionless.
But yeah, that might be the well, just in like a mask of the actor's
Oh,
face,
maybe.
because sometimes they'll do that, like especially for stunt work. But
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know because they had close ups on
They
it,
had
so
they had some
yeah,
close ups that would make me think maybe not. Um, the the one that really hurts me is the one song between Dracula and Claudine at Coleman
yeah,
Eves in like the room. Um, why is it a song? It could have been such a good emotional like fight, screaming at each other before
yeah,
Frankie comes in and kind of tries to settle things but doesn't do a good job. Like the words they're saying are great. I love the way it's written. I hate that they do it as a song because it's not a good song. It's
yeah,
just talk singing at each other, and it would be a lot. It's supposed to be emotional, and it would
yeah,
be a lot more emotional if they were actually screaming at each other, which is what I wanted to see in that scene. But
yeah. I at a certain point I started zoning out the songs. And like I was just talking to my dad and my sister who were watching it with me. We were just like talking during the songs and just
yeah,
ignoring the songs because
that's the part where I just got on sale on my Switch, Assassin's Creed: The Rebel Collection.
okay,
So there were some songs came up, pull out my Switch and start playing as Edward Kenway because I don't feel like paying attention. But yeah,
so John, sounds like you were not alone in trying to avoid certain parts of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I avoided a whole hour of the film, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm assuming you were not a fan of the songs.
Listen, like, I don't really care for most of them. It's not my style. They're there. Sure. It's good
Hmm.
background noise, but I'm not gonna put this bop on my phone and listen to it on a road trip. That's for sure.
hmm
Yeah,
it's just yeah. I Most of them really suck. They feel like they were written to be viral in some way.
yeah, yeah. There's a thing which past guest Samariel has talked about with these, like also the Descendants movies,
Hmm
where they're almost designed to be more pop songs than songs in a
Yeah,
musical. And I've even seen that like with the Barbie movies, we saw a progression from like Princess and the Pauper, which is a full
amazing.
on musical,
hmm
and then some of the later ones, it's like, oh, this is quote unquote a musical, but it's more like here's a music video that we can
Yeah,
put online and
that's
sell as a
definitely
single.
how it is with Descendants,
Okay.
because that's a lot of the songs in that one. They are actual music videos that they would play for commercials in between Nickelodeon shows. I think that was or Disney shows.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh boy.
it's they are fun music videos, but it's just yeah, it's the same with
Yeah.
this one. It's music videos
I
that they
mean,
put on.
honestly, that was the problem with Disney's Wish as well, is that they're pop songs, not
That's
musical
why I haven't
songs.
seen Wish yet. It just has not called to me like like a
Yeah.
lot of other Disney movies have. I'm a fan of musicals. I like Broadway. I like show tunes, and it's
Yeah.
just it disappoints me when a movie that could be great decides to go the pop song route instead.
Yeah. And I should specify, I don't dislike all musicals. It's just, I don't know. Because a lot of people have an issue of the characters break out into song and it breaks the reality of it. For me, I'm
Yeah.
like, I love when characters break out into song. I just don't like a lot of the styles of musicals.
Hmm.
So I'm like a Sweeney Todd person or Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
Even like I just recently saw Yentl, and that one is so good.
There, I haven't seen that one.
That is Barbara Streisand. That it is because it's she dresses up as a boy to study Torah in like the
Hmm.
1800s Europe, and so you think it's gonna be like a women can study the Torah too,
Hmm.
but instead it's like this weird interpersonal dynamics and like gender and sexuality are getting, and it's just like so odd and like a mix of all of this stuff, and it's just like diving in and all the different it's fascinating.
Hmm.
And all of the songs, Barbara Streisand is the only one singing. No one else has any songs, and anytime there are other characters present, it's in her head.
Hmm.
So it's like I don't know, it just works so well.
Yeah, I was a kind of similar question I had for this
Yeah.
music is that there are like different kinds of some musicals people know that they're singing, and it's like part of it that people are just singing in this world,
Yeah.
and they reference it. Other ones, it's the song is representing something else. This movie seems to have a bit of both. Like
Yeah.
in the one I mentioned in Coleman Eves, which sorry, I forgot to say this earlier. Coleman Eves, such an obvious anagram.
Yeah.
But the song between Claudine and Draculaura is obviously they're just having an argument that
Yeah.
they are putting into this song for the movie. But and that's how most of them are, where it's like this song feels like it's supposed to represent something else. The first song in the movie, that's how they're all feeling. They're not actually singing, except at the end of the song, when they stop their dance, their arms are in the air, and Claudine kind of like looks around and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it. They don't seem to know how they want to do it because there's some parts where it's like it feels like the singing is part of the world, and in other parts where it's like the singing is just in people's heads.
Yeah. It's they aren't quite sure if it's diegetic or non-diegetic,
Yeah.
to use the film 101 terms.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
It's a problem with a lot of musicals, and here I'm not really ever too bothered by that. I was just I couldn't get into the songs.
Yeah.
That was my struggle. So have you seen the Monster High TV show, the like current gen Monster High?
Not the
TV
current
show?
gen.
Okay, because I keep going back to like, what do I want these Monster High movies to be? And I happened to a few days ago watch the first episode of the TV show, and it's doing a lot of similar things. The difference is it has good writing, like the dialogue and the story beats are well written, and it's like, oh, that's what I want. I want these movies to be well written.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no big overarching change I want. It's just like I wish these were good.
They just need better writers.
Yeah.
That's really all it is that these movies could be good if they just had a better story and better dialogue.
Yeah.
I don't know. They do really well with the visuals of
Yeah.
like how people look and making it all kind of fit together sometimes.
Yeah.
It needs better writing. It feels like a movie made for money.
Yeah. A commercial essentially.
Yeah.
Which it is. This is a doll movie.
Yeah.
To sell dolls, and not like in a Barbie movie where it's like, oh, it's actually has some depth to it. It's like, oh no, what is the most generic plot we could do? Let's add a little bit of thematic relevance, but not actually go think through it enough to realize how many like cans of worms we're opening along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I call it a day, and then tease the sequel where maybe it'll be better. I don't know if I have much hope. John, what's your sense? If the movie comes out, we may have to cover it. Are you hopeful for Monster High 3?
If it's like in another year, several months away, and if we're not doing this like weekly, then sure,
Okay.
yes, maybe.
Maybe it'll benefit from not watching all of them in a row.
But then again, I get into it. It's like, oh, yeah, okay, it's the same TV quality, and
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't love all that, and yada yada yada. But like, it's I don't know. I am a little bit intrigued with the Grim Reaper and what's going on with Frankie. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Will I be disappointed? Very likely.
Yeah. Hopefully not.
Oh yeah. Oh, I just realized we forgot to give our scores for the sound. I give the sound a 2.5 out of 5.
I also gave it a 2.5 out of 5.
I gave it a 3.
So yeah, that leaves my final total at a 13.5 out of 25, which is a 54% or a 2.7 on our 5-star scale.
Well, mine 15 out of, what would you say?
25.
25. 60% and a 3 out of 5 in the 5-star scale.
And that leaves me with 11.5, which is a 46% or 2.35 star rating.
Yeah. An odd note to go out on with these Monster High movies, though not unwarranted with how some of these have been a little bit disappointing. John, I think this might be your lowest ranked of them.
It is.
Okay. Which we'll be getting into that soon. But yeah, thank you, Cass, for joining us. And
Yeah, I am happy to be here.
Yeah.
Invite me back for future
Yes.
episodes. If you guys go into My Little Pony, I have a lot to say about Equestrian Girls. That movie isn't
Okay.
it's something. But yeah.
you and John may have to talk about that because you might be able to see John's.
See, like it's gonna be a really long time before we get the ponies because
Uh-huh.
that's just a lot to get into.
It sure
So.
is.
Yep.
Yeah. Like once we get through all of our other stuff, maybe we'll do a whole pony dedicated series. But right now, it's not up on the board
Mhm.
for the moment.
Mhm.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Make sure to follow us on social media. We are Binging Barbie Podcast on Instagram and Tumblr, Binging Barbie on Twitter and Serialized, and Binging Barbie, a Barbie movie podcast on Letterboxd. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a 5-star review and to check out our Patreon. Links on all of our socials. Cass, do you have anything to plug?
No.
No?
I
Yeah, I know
no.
you said you don't have a social media.
I don't have a social media. I have other things I wouldn't want people to find.
Okay.
But
Well, in that case, we'll just skip past that. But yeah, if you ever come back, that would be lovely.
Yeah, I'll find something to plug.
Oh, you don't need to plug anything. Most of our guests don't. We occasionally have people who have other work. But yeah, anyway, we will be back next week to reveal our official rankings of the Monster High movies. And the week after that, we are starting our new series. We are going to be doing the Beverly Hills Chihuahua trilogy.
Oh.
So that's going to be quite a time. We've recorded the episodes and they were, oh man, that was it was nice to do a 3 movie series, but oh boy. But yeah, until then, don't join any covens apparently. Bye, Barbie.
Bye, Barbie.
bye, Bobby.